What's going on, guys? I am back for another live lesson. Thank you again, IK Multimedia, for having me. I'm getting everything queued up here. And we are going to be giving away some more cool software. As you see, I got AmpliTube up in the top there. If you didn't read the thumbnail, we're going to be giving away AmpliTube 4. And this is actually what the program looks like up here. And you can change a whole bunch of different things in here. Different amplifiers, pedals, right? Let's see. Oh, I actually can't move it while we're recording, but that's all good. Cool. So, and today is going to be all about jazzing up the blues a little bit, how we can get out of the pentatonic box and just the traditional blues scale, and how we can get some different sounds over the blues and a big thing we're going to talk about is the different changes. Most people know the more simple take on the blues, which is just 3 chords. We're going to talk about the chords that you can stick in there to transition to those chords, right? Different turnarounds that we can use to build new and different lines, and we can even impose them over the chords that are already there. Hopefully, if you've been tuning in, you know I'm Jesse Ricca. If you dig the lesson, check out my Instagram and handles down here. I'm also on Facebook and all that fun stuff. I actually have an album out right now on Spotify called the Melody Av Section. I have 2 albums out, actually. I have an older one. I just released a new EP called the Melody Av Sessions, and I have an older album called Jazz for Beer Drinkers, all available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I think it's even on SoundCloud. It's all over the place. IK has hooked me up recently with the Irig stream. That's how we're bringing you this broadcast today. If you haven't checked this thing out, do so. Especially in the new world we live in, it seems like the live stream and making everything happen from your home, as you can see, is going to be more and more of a thing. So make sure to check out the Irig stream. And also, they hooked me up recently with a really cool interface, a really small and portable interface called the Irig Duo IO. This is an awesome little piece of gear. Everything's becoming more and more mobile, so to have an interface that is like, the actual interface, I'm actually using it. I can't show you, but it really is just about as big as it is on the box. It's really not that big at all, so you can very easily transport it, just one USB connection. And I've been tracking a whole bunch of fun stuff with that thing in AmpliTube. Some awesome gear. All right, guys. So, again, we are going to be giving away AmpliTube 4. I'm going to ask a question at the end of the lesson. We're going to need your IK username. So if you don't have an account, it's a good time to... he's saying my tech guy says I got a little bit too much reverb here on my vocal channel. Here we go. Let me see if I can turn this down. There we go. That should take care of it. Ryan, are we doing okay? Let me see. Looks like that did it. All right, cool. So, again, at the end of the lesson, we're going to be giving away AmpliTube 4. I'm going to read off a question, and we're going to need your IK user account. So if you don't have one, make sure you make one real quick, and we can maybe send it to you. All right? So we're going to pick a winner at the end. Let's jump right into it. All right. So we're going to be talking all about the blues today, and we're going to talk about some different changes that maybe you guys have heard in the past, right? This is more what they call the jazz blues, or whatever, What it really is we're going to do some different turnarounds, and we have some different ways of getting to the next chords. So we're going to do it in B flat today, and we're going to use these chords as the first part of jazzing up our blues playing, right? If we know these turnarounds, right? These different turnarounds and different ways to get to the next chords, we can play those changes. We're going to talk about that too. And it's going to give you more of a traditional jazz sound as opposed to like the, kind of like the Stevie Ray Vaughan and you know, Albert King, B.B. King, kind of traditional blues sound though. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Let's go over those changes. So just like in the regular blues, it is based around a 1-4-5. So if you go to like, if you get called for like maybe a little trio or quartet gig, if they call 1-4-5 and it's like a jazz situation, they're really going to be thinking about these chord changes, not the more basic changes. So they're going to be thinking 1, 4, 1, and then 2-5 to 4, 2, 5, a 4, 4. Then we have diminish up a half step. We're going to use that with some of our jazz language. Back to 1. And then we're going to do a 2-5 to 2. So a minor 2-5. 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. So those are the new changes we're going to use, right? If there's any, I'm just checking if I got any questions over here. I need some of those guitars. Like you can see my guitars in the background. Yeah. I'm growing the collection. Got to get myself, this year I'm investing in a nice acoustic guitar. But let's go ahead. Let's go back to those changes just a little bit. So when I say 2-5, right, that means that I'm going to say 2-5 of, right? 2-5 of this chord, right? So we're going 2, 5 of 4. Remember our key is B flat. So B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Even though we're going to go over Mixolydian, but we still would think in the major scale, right? So those are the changes you can start. That's the first thing you can do is memorize those changes, right? And really get them down, because then we can play some different lines. And if we make those changes, it automatically sounds like more jazz, right? It's like, oh, he makes the changes really clear. I can hear the chords. You already sound, honestly, if you do that really well, you sound better than a lot of people who don't. Anyways, so let's go ahead. Let me just give you some examples. So I'll go. See, so all I really did there, I didn't play anything too crazy. I really just followed the changes really hard. And you'll see a lot of heads like Tenor Madness or Straight No Chaser, where the theme really just changes 1 or 2 notes. God, I haven't played Tenor Madness in so long. I can't remember how that head goes off the top of my head. Or even stuff like, well, in a minor blues concept, we talk about Mr. PC, but we can do Straight No Chaser. So we'll do it in B flat. So Straight No Chaser, right? They're following the changes. Going to the 3rd of B flat. Then to the 7th of E flat. Back to the 7th. Right, so they're really only changing 1 or 2 notes, and it makes the changes really well. And that's kind of how you can automatically sound a little more, have more of a jazz approach. right? Get some of those different sounds. Just checking out the chat. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Some drive, please. So these guys want some rockin' sounding guitar. Gotcha. Just checking my chat here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Happy to see you guys here. Let's check in. Got you. Want to hear a little more against this, so you can hear it a little bit better. I'm going to turn up the gain on my guitar just a little bit. See if that helps. Here we go, guys. Let me just do a little. Oh, there you go. There we go. Thank you. Doing a lot of things at once here. All right, cool. So we talked about how we can play the changes a little more and some of those more traditional jazz changes for the blues, right? So that's the first way we can really start to jazz up the blues, is learn those altered changes and start to make them. The other way we can do it is say you're playing one of those more the blues that has maybe a little bit less changes. I know a lot of people play Blue Monk. Another one that makes the changes really well, but that one doesn't have as many turnarounds. A lot of people play it with less turnarounds. So if you're on that one, another thing we can do is stop thinking so much of the. We could start thinking about the Mixolydian scale, right? And we would use the Mixolydian over the B flat, and then we'd use E flat Mixolydian over the E flat, and the same thing for all the turnarounds. Well, not for all the turnarounds, for all the dominant chords, all the dominant 7 chords. Actually, I played the bebop scale there. We're going to talk about the bebop as well. So that's another thing you can do, and just to get a basic sound, or like how it sounds, I'm going to play over it a little bit and just really stick to stuff in the Mixolydian scale, going from each chord to the next, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I didn't really play anything too chromatic there. I just played the Mixolydian scale, right? And that alone is going to help get you out of that pentatonic box, right? Play some beautiful chords. I don't know if they're too much into the blues, but I'll think about it. We got some funny guys in the chat here. Anyways, so we're going to start using the Mixolydian scale a little bit more. The next scale that we can kind of add into there and start to get a little bit of chromatic sounding, right? The little bit of chromaticism in there is the bebop scale, right? So the bebop scale is just the major scale, except you're going to have a natural 7th and a dominant 7th, right? So if we're in B flat, that's B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, A natural, B flat. Right, you can build some really cool lines with just that. And they're going to fit really well because if you notice, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 note scale. And if you're playing eighth notes, that means you just play the scale one time, and then you're right on the next chord. You're right back around. So 8 note scales are really helpful when learning how to make changes and getting to chord tones and stuff like that. So let's build some lines that we could do with the bebop scale. Right? So let's just do it over a stagnant B flat chord. So this way we're not thinking too much in E flat and then B flat and then all these turnarounds. Let's just do it over a stagnant chord real quick to get comfortable with it. So some cool lines that use the bebop scale. I always do, right? Right, so that's a cool one. We're going da na 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 na. You can even do it like what we were talking about with making the changes. Right? I used it right there. Da, 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 da. That's a pretty straight one. So this one is we're going to descend. Right? So descend to the 7, so B flat. Right? B flat, A flat, B flat, and then we have G, then the E flat. Right, and we can kind of use it in a more of a passing way as well. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, really just playing it straight up, and then you can get kind of cool with it, and you can blend some of the more traditional blues, or I always call this like the minor blues sound, because you got that one, and then you got that. That's what's so cool over a dominant chord is you just have so many options. If you know just those 3 scales, the minor blues scale, I guess you call it, the major blues scale, and then the bebop. You have so many options, and you can get away with so much stuff, so you can be like, that's a cool little bebop lick. Right, so again, I'm playing off that chromatic. And you can do it here. Right, so you can come up with a lot of cool stuff with just those 3 scales. Use those 3 scales, you have a lot of options. I mean, you can play, another cool lick that uses the kind of the combination between the major bebop scale, yep, there we go. Right, we can use that one and kind of blend it in with the. Right, I always love this lick, and you hear this one actually a lot with different horn players. Right, and it's like taking that. Right, and using those chromatic notes, he's like almost kind of using all the scales at once. And we talked about like a couple lessons ago, resolving, right? And that lick works so well because he starts. We're actually starting on the upbeat, and that's another way we're going to get into that in just a little bit, the different phrasing and stuff we can do to help add that more of a jazz feel to when we're playing the blues. Let me just check the chat here. I'm so sorry, I got a couple things up here at once. Awesome. Cool. So what were we talking about right here? All right. Sorry. We were back with blending some of the scales, right? And building licks that use those different lines. And then, so let's try it again. Right, so there's ones that starts off like super majory sound, and this is all over. Right, so we started off with that kind of majory blues sound, and then the yeah. We come with a bunch of cool lines using those three scales. So that's a big aspect of starting to use the more bebop sound, the major blues sound, which is one that's like a little underappreciated. I always see everybody knows this one, right? But I really always love the sound of this one. Right, and there's a lot of great licks that come from that, right? All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about is phrasing, right? Is where we start and end our licks. So if you're coming from like a rock perspective of the blues, like the Stevie Ray Vaughan guys, maybe the Jimi Hendrix, right? Albert King, stuff like that. They use a lot of like the super kind of like bendy stuff. Right? So you can definitely bend in jazz. It's not like it's some written rule that you don't. I mean, that's the great thing about, jazz and blues is improv, and you can kind of make everything your own. But to get more of like that traditional jazz sound, you don't want to bend as much. So we would take like a lick like, let's see which one we got here. Right, so he's kind of got like that. Instead of doing that, you probably want to slide into it. There's a famous video of Pat Martino playing Sonny, and he does like this lick that slides like that for like, it must be like 30 minutes. Not 30 minutes, like 3 minutes. He does it for a minute. He does it over like the whole form, I think more than once. But yeah, getting more of doing more, a little less bending and using more of like trills and enclosures, that's going to give you more of a jazz sound too. Like say we got the, or like, yo, that's going to give you it just sounds a little bit cleaner, and it sounds a little bit, and you can actually swing it a little bit better. It's kind of hard to swing, right, with the bend. So, that different phrasing, and also starting your licks not on the downbeat, right? A lot of rock licks all start on the downbeat. Right, so if you want to have like a little bit more of a better jazz approach, you would probably want to start something on the end of 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Another great place is the end of 3, leading into a triplet. A triplet 1 and 2. Right? So this is some really good phrases, and then of course you can still start on the downbeat, but using syncopation and getting off everything starting so hard on the downbeat is really going to give you a more of a jazz sound, right? We're trying to break that blues pentatonic box and get some of these chromatic sounds, and the phrasing is a big part of it. And if you listen to a lot of players, they all have such different, different styles of phrasing. Like Grant Green or Kenny Burrell, or more modern guys like Pat Metheny or Schofield, or really modern guys like Rosenwinkel or Kreisberg. But those guys, you might not know about those guys, but check those guys out if you don't. If you don't know any of those dudes, check them out. That's a big part about this, is going and finding players and trying to sound like them for a little bit. That helped me out a ton. Was doing I did a lot of Grant Green. I did some Wes. He has like his own little vocab that is a little outside the traditional sound. And even doing some horn players, learning their phrasing and learning how they swing it, or what kind of licks that they use over and over again. Because there's a lot of horn players that use licks. Everybody kind of uses licks. So that's a kind of like a crash course there on how to start getting a more blues sound out of your, how to get more of a jazz sound when you're playing blues. We're going to imply some different chords over there, use some of those 2/5s we talked about when we're going to the 4 chord, or that turnaround. And then, of course, instead of just playing 1/5, we can go 1/6 2 5 1, and if we make those changes, it's already going to sound way more jazzy. Since that is our goal today. All right, so we said at 4:30 we're going to put out this question and answer here. It is 4:29. Don't tell anybody. We're going to do it now. Or I'm just going to wait just a sec, pull up this chat. So, first thing you're going to need for Pat Metheny was actually my first concert ever too. That's awesome. That's a great first concert. Pat Metheny's your first concert. That is awesome. Schofield all day, dude. Yeah. A lot of those players are awesome, and if you listen, they sound so different. And all of them start on. I feel like every jazz player, anybody who plays jazz, starts in blues, and they learn the phrasing of like the traditional, kind of like more rockish blues, or more traditional blues, I would say, like B.B. King and Stevie Ray Vaughan, Albert King, guys like that. And then they kind of come over to jazz, and they start to explore the great guitar players from back in the day, like Charlie Christian, and I named so many throughout this thing. Kenny Burrell, Jim Hall, all those guys, right? They all have blues lines for days. So that's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to give out the question here. And remember, we are giving away AmpliTube for, sorry if I seem like I'm stringing this out. I don't mean to do it to you. All right, so the question is, send me your favorite blues song. Any song that's a 1/4/5, or let's change that. Send me your favorite blues guitar player and one of their tracks, right? One of their favorite blues songs. Favorite blues guitar player and one of their songs, right? And it doesn't have to be the traditional blues guys. It can be a jazz guy playing a 1/4/5, right? Or it can be, Stevie Ray Vaughan playing Pride and Joy. Either one is fine. So remember, send us your IK account and send us your favorite blues or jazz artist and the favorite blues song you got. The Ricca Project. There you go. You win. There you go. I don't pick the winner. They're gonna announce it. That's so funny though. We do have a couple blues tunes. By the way, if you haven't checked out my group, we are the Ricca Project, and we got a bunch of stuff on Spotify. We got everything everywhere. Everybody's got everything everywhere. He's gonna clarify since I'm over here goofing around too much. Send me your favorite blues guitar player and one of their tracks. That's what we're going with. Sorry if I didn't make it clear enough. There you go. That's a classic. Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign. That's a good one for sure. And Albert King, he used to play the guitar. I think he used to play it upside down, right? He used to actually have the strings backwards because he was lefty, and he was just like, yeah, I'll just play it this way. There's a few other guitar players that do. I think there's a new guy Oh, I can't. Eric Ailes. I can't remember his exact name. He's a great. He does blues too. Right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play a couple more rounds of the blues here and get a little bit have a little bit of fun with the changes. Well, you guys send in those answers, and we're gonna pick someone in about 5 or 10 minutes here. All right. Well, probably about 5 minutes. We need to get some answers in. We like to have at least 7, 8 people in here, dropping some of their favorite guitar players. Oh, there we go. Eric Gales does it. That's who I was thinking of. Eric Gales, really great player. I saw he did some really cool. He was at NAMM. He had some really awesome stuff. Louis Armstrong, not really a guitar player. Not really a guitar player. Jesse. Named Harlem. Oh, okay, gotcha. His name is Harlem Nocturne. Man, I can't pronounce any of these. Awesome. So I gotta check him out. Harlem Nocturne. Harlem Nocturne. Gotta check him out. That's some good stuff. Jimi Hendrix, he definitely counts. Jimi Hendrix definitely counts. Joe Bonamassa, there you go. That's a more modern blues guy. What's up, Shay? Great drummer and guitar player in the chat. Good buddy of mine. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and play just a little bit more. I know we're having fun talking in the chat. I'll let you guys kind of chat away. Keep sending in those answers. I'm gonna play a blues for you real quick, and then we're gonna give out who won. All right. 1, 2, 3. Some fun over the blues. Let's see. Do we have a winner? Sorry, I'm goofy. Do we have a winner? Well, they're still deciding, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explore some of the different sounds we got here in AmpliTube. We can go over the blues a little more. We can go over the blues just a little bit more, so let's check it out. So everyone wanted to see what we can kind of do with this new program we got here, right? So I have AmpliTube in the corner. I'm going to go ahead, since we're just hanging out and waiting for the AmpliTube giveaway, I'm going to expand this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here, right? So this is some of the cool stuff you can do in AmpliTube. let's go. I'm gonna go to one I have already set up. This is my default rock setting. That's what I call it, anyways. But you'll see here, I go to my stomp. These are all my pedals. Right now, I'm really just using this one and my compressor and EQ. But you really get a great sound. I'm gonna bring that down just a touch. And they have such really great sounding stuff. This fuzz pedal sounds great. Really, really good. So this is all the cool stuff. See, what I really love about this thing, for me, the biggest thing about AmpliTube here is this section right here. Dude, this is awesome. The fact that we can really position the microphones. If you look here, we have where it sits on the cone. I have mine out because I want to get a little bit of a darker sound. And then I can position here how far away I want it from the actual speaker. For me, that was, when I saw that, I was like, dude, I got to have this program. When Ryan showed me that, the guys at IK showed me that, I was like, I cannot get enough of this thing. I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Right? These different mic options is what really changed it for me. I was like, dude, I got to get in on this thing. All right, let's check it out. So some of the different things you can do too. We also have rack effects. These things sound great. Like the stereo chorus they have in this thing sounds absolutely amazing. Let me see what we got. AmpliTube. Analog chorus. Here we go. And it sounds really cool. So some of the things you can do there are just crazy. Get like a old school SCO sound off of like Still Warm or a Go-Go. Some of those albums. All right, I think we got a winner here. Sorry, I'm still a... So, Danny. Oh, Danny boy. Sorry. I'm going to move this back over the side. So, Danny, you are the winner of AmpliTube 4, dude. Go have fun with this thing. It's got so much stuff in it. You're going to be sitting there forever going, dude, this is... It's overwhelming at first, but it's so like intuitive. Like the minute it's everything is like just what you think it is. It's like, how do I turn that on? Oh, I just click the on. How do I change it on? Just super intuitive. So Danny, go have some fun with that AmpliTube. And guys, thank you so much for coming back and jamming with me today. Hopefully you got something out of the lesson. You picked up some new language, learned some new stuff, had some fun. We joked around. Danny had some good names here. George Benson. Gotta be down with George Benson. Give me the night. There we go. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming back. Again, we will be here every Thursday at 4 o'clock. We'll be talking guitar, whatever topics we come up with. If you got some topics or something you maybe want to talk about, my handles are right here. My handles are right here, man. Message me. If you got some topic that, it's like, oh, I can't get this concept down. I would love to talk about it. Message me that topic, and maybe we'll go over it in one of these lessons. I'll see you next Thursday at 4 o'clock, guys. Later.